Welcome to the Headspace and Tasting Podcast, where we talk manhood, tell stories, and discuss the stuff that matters to us one sip at a time. Welcome back, Kevin.
Hello, Matt. What's going on?
Oh, not much. Today is February. What day is today? February 5th?
The 7th.
7th? It's Saturday in February. And here we are recording another show.
Yeah.
We're going to jump right in. Let's introduce our guest today.
Okay. So it's a friend of yours from South Carolina days. Mm-hmm. His name is Andrew Fancher. He's a Lone Star Emmy Award-winning journalist from Dallas, Texas, cut from a bloodline of outlaws and lawmen alike. I'm sure we'll hear about that. He was the first of his family to graduate college, which was accomplished with honors. Welcome to the show, Andy.
Appreciate y'all having me on.
Oh, no problem, buddy. We tried to do this before. Didn't work out. You had some more important things to do, apparently. But we forgive you. So Andy is a journalist. And more than that, you had your beautiful face on TV for a little bit. And now you're on the internet. So let's talk about a little bit about your history. So you grew up in Texas, right?
That is correct.
You claim. I don't know. Do people doubt your claims of being born and raised in Texas?
No.
Okay.
I mean, the accent, which I'm told is there by some people, I mean, that should speak for itself.
You kind of blend in down in South Carolina, though.
Well,
South Carolina, man, it's thick. Y'all lay it down hard.
Andy's got the Matthew McConaughey hairstyle, so he's definitely at least looks like he's in Texas.
Yep. Beautiful head of hair. I appreciate you growing it out and living the full head of hair life. For those of us that can't do so, we appreciate you, man.
For you. Just for you.
So where'd you go to college?
Yeah, I mean, I went to school in North Texas, University of North Texas, which is known for little to nothing with the exception of Mean Joe Green. For our football fans out there. UNT actually prided itself on the fact that Dr. Phil took some courses there to show you just how tried and true the alma mater is. But
nice.
That's where I went to school.
Okay.
And I only went there, I landed there at the very end after taking electives through community college to save money. But got that weighty piece of paper, just like mainstream media required,
That's
and
right.
I was off after that.
So you actually did go to school for television journalism, or what do they call it?
Broadcast journalism.
Broadcast journalism. That's what I was trying to think of.
And man, I mean, between you and me and anybody else listening, I mean, I have reservations calling myself a journalist these days. I mean, that I would put next to somebody who wants to call themselves a politician. And that's just my personal opinion at this day and age.
Yeah.
The old joint, I couldn't really have an opinion on much. And granted, I don't think the journalists should just walk into a room with a preconceived notion. But when our politicians are acting up, when our police officers are breaking the law, I mean, on camera, in our faces, that's when it's time to get a little pissed.
Okay. So you made your way from North Texas to South Carolina. Was that your first job on TV?
Well, I guess just a little bit about me, just backing up a little bit. So I started toying with cameras at a very young age.
Okay.
And that really grew into something when I was 16, and that's when I started interviewing World War II veterans. Okay.
Oh, cool.
So, living in Dallas and in a city of that size, that means that there were a lot of subject matter. There was a lot of subject matter. So I interviewed from about 16 to 19 around 80 World War II vets, and I would make little short films on some of the veterans. That then went into the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and at that point, I was going to school, trying to pave a way for myself. But that's where just the going into exactly what y'all were saying in your last episode, how everybody has a story.
Yeah.
that's where I was hooked. I mean, I was listening to men and women with, saving Private Ryan grade stories.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just falling by the wayside. It's just the old dude who was drinking coffee next to you in Waffle House, or the old woman that you just walked past going to visit your great grandma at the nursing home. So that's kind of where the storytelling bug bit me, and that just has carried me ever since.
Well, cool. That's a great project, man. Do you still have you still have those archives somewhere?
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I've been for about a year now, because that was a ton of content.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking hundreds and hundreds of terabytes of interviews across 3 different cameras, because just progressively upgrade thousands of pictures, and these stories mean something. And if I can package it all up one day, I'd like to. So it's something that I have been thinking about as I've been sorting through and putting these interviews in one place.
Cool.
Being reminded of what this guy did in Europe and what this guy did in Japan. Yeah, it's some pretty interesting stuff.
Well, cool, man. As a veteran ourselves, we're both veterans over here, and we appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Just keeping those stories alive. We try to get Global War on Terror veterans to come in, from Missouri or Illinois, just to tell their story. There's a lot of guys that are just like, well, I just drove a truck, or I just, hauled in, or, I just did this. And we're like, bro, you got to tell. I'm sure you have some cool stories that you want to get just, put in an archive for your children or grandchildren to hear one day.
It's the experience. It
is. That's cool, man. So what was did you use that footage like for your resume when you were looking for jobs?
Yeah, I did. And there were several guys, actually, let me backtrack. To my understanding, only a handful of the guys that I interviewed are even still alive.
Oh yeah. Sure.
I think one of the quickest turnarounds, I'd interviewed an Air Force vet who flew bombers in Europe, and then 4 days later he died. And I was the last person to interview him. A lot of these guys, I was the only person to interview them. So
wow.
If nothing else, I'd like to think it meant something.
Yeah, that's really special, man.
That was one of the most disappointing things at my VFW post. When I was heavily involved, my best friend and I, heavily involved there, we were spending time and actually interviewing every single member and getting their experience. And we didn't do videos or recordings, but we put it on like a bio member page. So it was a picture of them, and it was all of their information, their war experiences, that kind of thing.
Cool.
And not 3 years after I left command of the VFW post, they let the website cancel.
Oh, gosh.
No one maintained the website. They lost all that data.
It's all gone.
All of it.
Dang.
Well, I wouldn't give up hope yet. I mean, the Internet Archive, there's a strong chance that stuff is there.
Oh, it could be, but there's nobody in the post that's going to take the time to do that due diligence, so
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. That is unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, Andy, you use this footage for your resume, and do you send, is that what, do you just send tapes around to different stations with, projects you did in school? Like, you guys, I'm sure you did, mock newsrooms type stuff, right?
And that crap, because that's what that is. I learned so much on my own volition. And at college, it was just kind of beat into you. You have to do this, you have to do that. Well, okay, I'm already trying to understand the box so I can think outside of it.
Yeah.
The people that were teaching us journalism were washed-up has-beens who got fired from mainstream media, which shows what we're working with.
Yeah.
When you were literally fired from NBC and nobody else would take you except this university, air quote, university. I've got pretty strong opinions about higher education as well.
Yeah.
Did you have that when you were going to school or after?
Absolutely. Yeah, that seed was planted, I would say before I even landed at university. And then once I got there, Now, again, I mean, I'm somebody who describes myself as a dumbass with a laptop. All right, I mean that's where my bar is sat when I walk into any room. But when the professors are so self-absorbed about all the magnificent things that they were never able to do, which is why they're a professor.
Yeah.
The amount of passionate instructors that I had, I can probably count on a single hand. Like the university grade people who actually cared, who wanted to see you succeed. Actually, that's probably about how many there were, 2.
Oh my
I
gosh.
can think of both of them right now. But
what was
that
it?
being said,
What was it when you attended the university? You said that seed was already planted. When or how was the seed planted that you recognized that as a student?
I would say in community college, and now that being said, it got heightened once I transferred over because, hindsight's 20/20. In community college, at least those professors cared. You wouldn't be in a, I suppose, more demanding environment than a university, getting paid less than a university if you didn't care. I can think of several wonderful instructors, all from Dallas Community College. I'm a D, triple CD, associate's degree, great day. But, just that on top of, since everybody has a story, hearing out some of my professors in community college after class, just hearing some of their stories and how, sometimes passions are weeded out and people who do care are kicked to the curb. We see that in just about every profession these days.
That's right.
So, just taking a peek behind the veil and then, landing there and seeing it for myself. I'm not trying to say that I went with a preconceived notion. I went very open-minded. Yeah. But when it was...
You were a pretty self-aware kid at a young age, I'm guessing. That's what it sounds like. You were kind of analytical and you knew who you were way back when, right?
I was always interested in things, and which sounds stupid, but it's true.
Well, curiosity is a very important aspect of a man, I think.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I'm not going to say that curiosity didn't help by way of my brother. And I think I don't know if I've actually sent you the video I did on my brother, but he was probably the last veteran that I interviewed. That would have been, it was after COVID, because I had gone up to Colorado where he lives, and for about 2 days, him and I just fleshed out his 7 tours overseas.
Wow. Okay.
He spent 7 years at Fort Bragg, so 7 tours from there. And, pretty reserved guy, but from his years in the military from 06 to 14, and I'm sorry, Cameron, if those years aren't exactly right, just some of the stories he was bringing back home, some of the artifacts. In fact, I'm looking at one of those artifacts. If I can leave camera for a second.
Sure.
Can I bring an artifact?
Go ahead.
All right. Not that the listeners will see this, and it's only a matter of chance that I even have this.
Use your broadcast journalism degree to describe it to him. Oh, wow.
Do you recognize him?
Yeah, that's a handsome gentleman. Nice mustachioed young man there. Saddam Hussein. Yeah, he looks like a picture in a sports clips where you look through, those books you flip through to see what kind of style you want to get. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that came off the wall of one of the palaces, I'm guessing.
Palace.
Nice.
None other than All Palace itself. It's got the note that I've held on to, but the way Cameron puts it, this is just a loaner. He wants it back someday, but in the meantime, it will proudly be mine.
Nice.
Kind of a story that I might not should share, but since you had me buy some 46, one time I had a friend come over, and Saddam was hanging proudly. Mm-hmm. And the friend looked over at Saddam and said, "Why do you have a picture of Joseph Stalin on your wall?" Oh, goodness.
Nice. It's a conversation by itself.
Yeah. Must have been a
there you go.
Must have been a USC sorority chick.
Well, the rest is off the record.
Well,
There,
between Stalin and Saddam Hussein, I think I'd rather sit down and have an interview with Stalin.
Yeah, he might be a little more interesting. So you mentioned the Maker's Mark 46, which is our bourbon for the day today, and you went out and grabbed a bottle so you can join us in the tasting, which is super cool.
yes, sir.
And the label of that, go ahead and read it off, Kevin.
Maker's Mark number 46, French oaked, Kentucky straight bourbon, whiskey barrel, finished with 10 virgin French oak staves, 94 proof.
So we've done a lot of Maker's Mark on this show, but this is one that we haven't done yet. And the way Maker's Mark does it, they make their bourbon and they add staves for their aging process, different combinations of staves to come out with their different product, end product. And this one is $40. Like, what did you say, 94 proof?
Yep. The mash bill is 70% corn, 16% wheat, but if I want to get into the details, it's 16% red winter wheat and 14% malted barley. And the way they actually make it is they take Maker's Mark, whatever they're making their standard Maker's Mark in a barrel, they drain that out as they bottle it, and then they add the 10 heavily seared virgin French oak staves into that barrel, and then they refill it.
Yeah.
And then that's the way it gets aged.
Oh, okay. And to go back, Maker's Mark uses toasted staves, seared staves, virgin staves, all different
French cuvee,
all sorts, and they're all different types of staves. So, Andy, if you're interested, you can go back and do our Maker's Mark show. That Kevin actually went down and made his own blend.
Yep.
One time.
Nice.
It's pretty cool, and we tasted that, which it actually was really, really good. So we start off with our tasting notes, and as you said, you're not a connoisseur, but you do drink bourbon from time to time. So give it a good hack, man. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, I want to hear what Andy has to say.
What do you smell when you put your nose in the glass? What aromas are coming out to you?
Oh goodness, man!
Use your imagination.
I'm not a connoisseur. I'm a consumer.
But you smell stuff every day.
A consumer sore.
That is true. Smell a lot of crap every day. I will say though, in sipping this, I mean, it's a bit more spicier than just your standard issue Maker's Mark. So, for the Fireball days in me, it's got a little bit of nostalgia there. But hang on here.
Good description.
Yeah.
Do I sound like I know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. You could literally say anything, and people would be like, "Ooh, that's interesting."
Oh, spicy. It's a spicier
Spicy.
blend.
Okay. But what kind of spices are you getting there? Is it like nutmeg, cinnamon, cardamom?
It actually
What do you think?
is. It's giving cinnamon-y flavors there.
All right.
Now, where the spice is coming from exactly, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. Well, you could just say, they make that blend called allspice, where it's just like cinnamon, nutmeg, and all this different junk. And that's what you could just say. Oh, it's like allspice, like a little bit of everything.
that what you said.
Yeah,
It's
allspice.
like allspice.
Baking spice.
Baking spice. Yeah.
Right.
Well, how about you? Give me your notes. What are you
I get
gathering here?
a strong oaky aroma when I smell this, and then right behind that is cinnamon for me, like a very strong, fresh cinnamon.
That's on the nose.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's pretty straightforward for me down the road. But what are you smelling? You smelling about?
Certainly the oak stands out. However, I'm not getting something as strong as cinnamon. For me, it's more subtle, like brown sugar.
Oh, okay.
Is what I'm getting. For the taste, the cinnamon comes out in the taste. Definitely the oak comes back out. A little subtle on the butterscotch and plain toast.
Plain toast.
Yeah,
like white bread toast or?
No, because I don't eat white bread, so it's wheat bread.
Wheat.
So
Okay.
just plain wheated
So
toast.
toasted wheat. Okay.
And, it kind of fits in with the idea of, it's 16% wheat and 14% barley. So the spice, it doesn't have any rye in it whatsoever. So the spice is coming out of the barley a little bit, I think. And then the way that it's been fermented or aged.
Yeah, and it's a What's a regular Maker's Mark? Is it? It's not 94 proof.
No, it's 90.
90. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, Andy? You getting a little bit? What are you tasting? Just spice, or what do you got?
Well, I like what Kevin had to say with the bread situation.
Don't
he
let him.
sounded like he knew what he was talking about now. But I say, taste and flavor aside, the view though of drinking Maker's Mark 46 in my office of all places, that alone is pretty dynamic. But at FITSNews, I don't think we're going to have any issue there.
No. And we'll get to FITSNews here quickly. The only thing I would add, Kevin, is a little bit of citrus. But I do get the buttery, like butterscotch, toasted wheat type of.
Yeah.
But I would add a little bit of citrus. As
okay. And the butterscotch is not very strong at all. It's very subtle.
Real subtle. Mm-hmm.
So it's not syrupy at all. I've seen people describe this as somewhat syrupy.
No, I don't get that.
I don't think it at all.
No.
As far as the finish, a little bit of tobacco and a little bit of spice. It has a nice finish, but it doesn't linger long.
Yeah, not an overwhelming
that's
burn.
not too bad. It's pleasant.
Yeah, I enjoy this a lot. This is actually my mother's favorite bourbon to drink. So I like this, and I have it whenever I go over there. We'll have a glass together.
What did you say this was? $40?
I think it was around $40. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't look at price tags when I buy stuff, Kevin. I'm a baller.
Yeah, we're trying to teach our audience.
Yeah, it's not expensive. It's not. It's like $40 to $45 depending on where you go. Yeah, the oakiness comes out for me. The more I breathe. And there's a trick, Andy. If you take your bottle and put your palm on, open it up, put your palm on the top, and turn it over. Take the top off, though.
Okay, well, I don't want to spill bourbon all over the place.
It should be a twist top. Is yours a cork? Wow, he's got a corked bottle.
Because this corked bottle costs less than what you were saying earlier.
Well, I got mine at a local grocery store, so they mark things up quite a bit. All right, so put your hand on top there.
Okay.
Nice and tight. Turn the bottle upside down.
You're not plotting on me, are
No,
you?
no, sir.
This is going to work?
Yeah, hold it tight, though. Now turn it back right side up. Now rub your hands together really hard like you're trying to start a fire with your palms.
Okay.
Real hard. Push them together like, there you go. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
All right, I'm going.
Now cup your hands over your nose and take a sniff. What do you smell there?
It's actually getting more to the raw ingredients, it feels like, by doing that.
Yeah. So that brings out the oakiness. That'll show you. We learned that from a guy, Dave, Kevin's best friend, Dave, that came on the show.
Yep. Thanks, Dave.
It's a cool thing to do, and it'll really pull out the wood aromas. And the harder you rub it together, the hotter you get your hands.
Yeah, no, and it got hot. And I was about to say, I mean, what you just said about the citrus, that came out right there.
Okay, cool.
That's at least what I was able to get from that.
Nice. So a cool little bar trick you can play on the sorority girls down there.
Oh, come on now.
So we'll post your picture on Facebook so everybody can see your handsome face. Put a face to the name, and then we'll put links up to how they can get a hold of you. But so you went from college. Your first job was WIS in Columbia, South Carolina, or did you have
first job in journalism?
Yeah. Not first job.
WIS. Yeah, no, my first job was on a fishing boat off the Gulf of Mexico, and then all throughout just high school and college, I was working at my dad's fence company.
Oh, man, that's tough work, dude.
It was. Hey, man, it humbles you.
Yeah,
it humbles you.
Mm-hmm. So what's it?
If I can, my father anything said at a very early age, I realized just how much the cost of $1 was and what it took to get there. So cool. I can thank him for that. But after North Texas, and I had worked at a newsroom up there, North Texas Television. Mm-hmm. But the big boy job was in a top 100 market which academic advisors told me I would not get on my first jump. So just to put it to them, I did.
Okay.
And we landed at WIS, which at the time I think it was. Actually, I'm not even going to try and quote. It was within the top 80 media market, and there are over 300 of them. And somehow Columbia ranks. And WIS at the time marketed itself as the number one NBC affiliate in the country, which apparently doesn't mean much. As we're laughing as I say that. But I landed there.
Cool.
And man,
what was it like day one when you walk in there?
I promise this isn't a pattern, based off what I said earlier about going to college and everything. But when I walked into that newsroom, man, I knew within the first 5 minutes I had made a mistake.
Oh, wow.
That being said, I had a job to do it. I'm going to do that job to the best of my abilities. I learned more than college could ever teach you, more than any vlog could ever read you, on just the sheer amount of allegiances and corporate overlords and importance of ad breaks and run times and ad breaks, and it was not for me.
Yeah.
It was not for me.
So do they start you out? They say, here's the keys to the corporate SUV and a camera and a tripod. Go to the county courts and.
Corporate SUV sounds a lot sexier than the. I probably can't cuss on this show. And the only time I've thought to cuss is to describe the company vehicles at WIS. But I would call them the squad cars. They had a nice peacock on the side, so a nice, colorful, moving target.
Mm-hmm.
And we were per what they needed, which
they just handed out assignments, like you're going to cover, or you have to find it on your own.
Yeah, and I like that. I like the idea of taking pitches into the newsroom every day, at least 3 pitches. I like having some freedom in choosing what you're going to report, but when at the end of the day, all that WIS or anybody, any mainstream media, local television station needs is blood, guts, and tragedy to get you to the next commercial break. Yeah. With no context needed or necessary or follow-up, then, what are we doing? I recall, some of the top brass. We're in this job to help people. How are we helping the mother whose 3 children were just murdered by knocking on her door after she told us not to go there? Right. Just so that we can get some sound of a crying woman so that we can toss to the commercial break and a story on a food truck. Solutions journalism in local television is dead. It's dead. With the exception of very few people, like Jody Barr, for instance, out of Queen City. And that's not to say that WIS didn't do yeoman's work, for instance, on the Kershaw County Sheriff's Office, thanks to Chris Joseph, that's how you and I met, Chris Joseph. But on the whole, when it's just noise over news, that's when we have a problem, and we're there. Yeah.
You're good, Kevin? You got a question?
I don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we I remember. Do you remember the? I don't know if you were in South Carolina when we had the 10,000-year floods.
That was before my time, but I'm aware of it.
So I'm stuck in my house with my 2 kids, and we're watching the TV, and they would say, "This road's washed out. It's this horrible tragedy, but we'll talk more about it when we come back from a commercial break." And so that was a good learning opportunity for my children. I said, "Now you see the road that just washed out? Yeah. It's the same road they've showed the last 10 times before they go to commercial." Yeah. I said, "Okay, but if this was actually a real emergency that we really needed to be worried about, do you think they would have a commercial break to sell you Diet Coke and Fords and, whatever pharmaceutical?" They're like, "No, that doesn't make sense at all." I was like, "No, it doesn't." It does not.
And if I could add to how much sense that makes, because I filmed a ton of B-roll there. I mean, we all do. Every journalist's job at a mainstream media outlet is to film B-roll for your stories.
Mm-hmm.
B-roll that'll then be used in coverage like the 1,000-year flood, where we need a video of a car floating down the river.
Right.
Every once in a while I'm scrolling through, I'll see, good God, that's my video. They're still using my videos of the Richland County Courthouse. So I guess it's not mine.
They own it.
Nothing was ever mine there. But, fresh content, fresh new faces. The turnover in journalism is just astounding. The people that I studied with that went into the profession, most of them aren't in anymore, and can you blame them? It's very unfortunate to see something that had so much promise just weighed itself down and willfully watch the ship sink. It's just very disappointing.
Of the folks that you know that aren't in it anymore, have you kept up with any of them? What are they doing now instead? Are they still applying their training, or they just completely went a different direction?
Yeah, and I do keep up with as many as I can. And that's not to say that there aren't a few that are still holding on to the dream, and I respect them. They've had to go through a lot of crap in the process. But the folks that aren't in it anymore, you see a lot of them going to like PR gigs or public information officer gigs, to where they're now communicating with inquiring press. So, applying the knowledge, applying, what they know from being behind the camera as well as in front of the camera. But you see a lot of that. You see a lot of that.
The cadence with how broadcast journalists speak, is that taught in school? The the inflection on certain words, and tonight at 9, the way that they talk on TV. How does that happen?
Curiosity, does it drive you crazy?
Yeah, I don't watch it at all. I don't watch it.
I was told that journalists who do it on television are actually taught how to speak with the common accent. So they don't sound like they're from the South or from the North. They just have this common speech.
If I were on, I would be inclined to kind of crank up the accent a little bit. It gives character to just an otherwise mannequin on the TV.
Maybe that's why you're not on.
A few reasons, right?
Yeah.
And I'll emphasize too. I mean, I resigned.
Right.
I couldn't. You either tell the truth or sell your soul, and I was not telling the truth.
Yeah. So let's get into let's.
Yeah, but news broadcasters don't do that. They're just reading a script. The people that are hosting like the nightly news.
No, well, I mean, they do have some. I wouldn't say some. I mean, they are reviewing that script. They are refining it and tailoring it in a way to where it accommodates to them, just how they speak. So it's not like they're just thrown into a chair and dance monkey dance. They do have a little bit of authority, but
okay.
On the most part, it's bang the cymbals and go home. And you see so many people just satisfied with that, because at the end of the day,
punching a clock,
they're on TV.
Right. Okay.
Well, you get to punch the clock, and you get to be important too.
Yeah. Probably get a free meal every now and then, free drink,
every
something
now
like that.
and then you get a free hot dog. Hey, my guy over at the gas station off Tunock, he was a WIS fan, so I got some lemonade out of the deal.
Go.
But yeah, it's sad, man. It's just sad.
So you and I met through Chris Joseph, who was also in WIS, and I don't know what he's up to nowadays, but probably great things. He's a super sharp dude, very nice guy.
Agreed. Agreed.
Seemed like he had some good morals and ethics about him.
Yep.
And so he was on his way out somewhere when he introduced me to you, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. And you were going to kind of pick up the torch and go with it. And so we talked about a lot of stuff, police corruption, political nonsense going on in county councils and all that kind of stuff. And where I lived was rife with content, I would say. It probably still is. I watched, and now let's talk about, so then you transitioned out of the corporate news and went into independent journalism or news.
Yes, sir.
With an outfit called FITSNews, FITSNews. and Will Folks started that. I don't know the exact history, but I think didn't he used to work in the State House doing something politically?
Yeah, he was press secretary.
Secretary, that's it.
You might have heard of him, Mark Sanford.
Man, talk about an easy gig. Do you remember Mark
Right?
Sanford? The stories about Mark Sanford, governor of South Carolina?
Nope.
Had a
Wasn't Missouri.
Huh?
He wasn't Missouri.
Yeah, so you
I
don't
didn't
pay attention. But it made like huge national news because he had like some Latin lover down in Argentina or something like that. He was using the state plane to fly to
The
Argentina.
Appalachian Trail, please.
Was it Appalachian Trail?
Well, good for him.
So-
Well, that's what he said. He went hiking on the
Oh, he said he was
Appalachian Trail.
hiking, but he was really taking the plane to Argentina for his girlfriend. And anyway, he resigned from office eventually, but they tried to make a comeback for senator or something for South Carolina, didn't he?
He's tried to make several comebacks.
Yeah.
And
Those-
it's like, okay, if you didn't learn from the last scandal or the scandal before that or the scandal before that,
Yeah.
So my boss got started under a man who's has now been dubbed in the South Carolina history books the Love Gov. So that's where our founding editor got his start, got his foot in, and then you might have heard stories of where he got into other things, including but not limited to Nikki Haley.
Oh,
And
great choice.
there was a Politico grade scandal there, but
Yeah.
Suffice to say, we're in a great position to report on politics
Yeah.
and the scandals that surround
Yeah,
that.
he's seen how the sausage is made, so he can smell the BS coming from a mile away, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
And you guys were really, and well, it's Fit News on YouTube, right? FITSNews, and FITSNews.com is a pay site. I think it's, what is it, like $2 a month or $3 a month, something like that?
It's gotten to be a little bit more
Oh,
since
my
a couple
gosh.
years ago, but
You filthy capitalists.
yeah. How dare we ask for your support to keep uncovering all manner of corruption in this state?
But there's no commercials, so that's the good thing.
Few ads. There's no ad breaks on our weekly show.
Yeah, you can watch it on YouTube, and they do like a weekly. You guys do a weekly breakdown, and so I've been watching lately since we reconnected. I've been keeping up, but man, you guys were all over the Murdoch murder case, and everything involved in that, like getting into the Russian mafia that controls some island off the coast of South Carolina, and all sorts of stuff, man.
It's crazy to think that like that level of organized crime and corruption is right there. It's in our faces, and authorities aren't doing a damn thing about it.
That's weird. Why is that? Why don't the authorities do anything about it?
It makes you wonder. I can think about a few cases, and I think I might have them pinned up on the wall where they should be doing something about it. Right.
Wasn't that what Ryan Thorpe? I mean, he broke the Minnesota fraud.
Yeah, independent journalism.
So,
Doing
I mean,
the
do you
heavy
guys
lifting.
pay attention to what Ryan Thorpe does in Contact, or do any of you, as you're doing your work, you're thinking, wow, I'd like to get to the level of Ryan Thorpe, or is it what you do is what you do?
Well, I mean, I've got absolutely no qualms with Ryan Thorpe. I mean, the way that he was able to take something that national that quickly, and I think he testified before an oversight
congressional
committee just
committee.
recently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty freaking good, man.
So-
So good on him for bringing attention to something that is not passing the smell test with these daycare centers.
Yeah.
But as far as us connecting, that has not happened. I don't want to say that we all at FITSNews, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 people that work in the office, and then we got a few remote people. But we all kind of bring our own level of specialty and autism to the table, and we kind of just work on our own islands, and that's great though, because there's no being territorial, trying to rip someone's story out from under you, or you're working on something.
Well, I'm
for
sure it's a
months and
competitive
somebody-
atmosphere, though, right?
It is not a local television station's newsroom. I can tell you that.
Well, yeah. But still, you want the competitive in a way that I'm talking is, You guys want to prove that you belong there, that you're carrying your weight, not like a newsroom where you're trying to undercut, take somebody's legs out from under them so you can get that time slot or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're just, want to do a good job. You guys, because FITSNews, it started out just Will by himself, right? And now it's built. They have employees. You got offices. Were you guys Charleston or Columbia?
We are essentially based in Columbia.
Okay.
I'm talking to you right now from Lexington County.
Okay.
But I mean, the State House is just right down the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a legitimate news outlet. People
depending on who you ask.
Well, what about Chuck Wright? What would he think? Explain who Chuck Wright is.
Oh, good. Do we want to go there?
Yeah, we kind of like did a time travel forward. You saw right away corporate news was not for you, and I knew this from talking to you the first time we met. That you were kind of unhappy being there, and we had talked with our buddy Jeff a lot.
Shout out Jeff Maddox.
Yep, shout out to Jeff Maddox, OG in the independent journalism space in South Carolina.
He might have inspired the long hair.
There you go. All right. And so you were just fed up and you decided to make the leap. Let's talk about when you made the decision to go, though, because this could be important, kind of falls into what we talk about on our show, is when you see that your goals and your morals aren't aligning with what you're doing as a career or where you're at in your life, you have to make a decision. Do I stay or go? And, you mentioned sell your soul or tell the truth. So it seems like you didn't really wrestle with that too long before you decided, yeah, this ain't for me. I got to go.
That's not entirely true.
Really? Okay.
Well, because I had to face the music on a lot of things, and I'm glad that I realized as quickly as I did, just the state of mainstream media in this country, which I get that I didn't see it at the national level, but I nonetheless saw a perspective of it. I got to know people in nearby newsrooms, and on top of that, my friends were going to other newsrooms across the country, and the stories were consistent. So there was writing on the wall. That being said, this was something that I had committed myself to. I sank thousands into air quote education to get this far, and I had I obviously had hopes and dreams, which okay, so what? But I knew that once I resigned from the number one NBC affiliate in the country, that I was going to pretty well be marked, blacklisted, and this was going to be the end of it. So I had to ask myself for many a night, for months, is this really what I want to do? Is it as bad as I am telling myself and that everybody else is telling myself that it is? Is it as truly as bad as I'm seeing it be?
Okay.
So, because at the end of the day, I wanted to be a desk anchor, man. I wanted to go back to Dallas, Texas, my hometown, and which is a top 5 media market. Wear the suit and tie, but at the end of the day, it doesn't. The suit and ties and all your little trophies, that's exactly what they are. It's a paperweight and a noose. It was not for me.
Kevin.
You when we read the intro, your bio, it was you're an Emmy Award winner. So you mentioned the little trophy on your desk. What did you earn the Emmy for?
Yeah, and I'm glad that means something to some people, and I kind of keep that in there almost as a way to rub it into so many journalists who are working solely to get an Emmy. The amount of people who would leave the station going, I hope this is an Emmy award-winning story. No, that's not what this is about. You're going to do a good job, and then maybe the Academy will recognize you.
Yeah. But
to go out and just have a tunnel vision on a trophy, like, get out of here, man. So to answer your question, though, that was back when I was in Texas. I had gotten in good with U.S. Border Patrol, and they actually told me that I was the first journalist that they allowed on a ride-along in a very long time because, again, why would you open yourself up to that kind of scrutiny? doing something that in this day and age is that controversial. So I rode with Border Patrol and reported with them. I say that I spent about 2 months, 9 consecutively, at the Texas-Mexico border, specifically what is hailed by Border Patrol as the most remote corner of the U.S.-Mexico border, which is in Terrell County, Texas. And that report, it's available on YouTube. It's free to watch. It's called World of Nations, A Humanitarian Crisis. And that story, as well as a few others, won some paperweights, and I could not tell you where those paperweights are right now.
So, do you think that you earning the Emmy Award, do you think that was one of the contributors to you getting into the Tier 1 slot there at WIS?
Maybe. I mean, it would be speculation. I can tell you, and I'm not trying to knock the people who do have a chance, who are in it for the right reasons, but the way that I have just personally seen this industry go downhill from in just 5 years, in just 6 years. WIS now, so when I joined, it was a place where you needed to have experience to even get in the door, right? Now I saw an application just the other day. They've lowered the requirements to high school diploma or better.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, since COVID, when it comes to, domestic news media, for us to find out anything that's really going on in this country, you have to go to foreign news sources.
Yeah.
That's where I get all my information.
Like Russian Times has more truthful reporting on what's going on in America.
Even The Sun in Britain
It's insane.
reports more about the United States accurately than their own country.
Yeah.
Al Jazeera. Their coverage on the insurrection too. It's like what we need is somebody 10 steps removed, just looking at it from a bigger picture. So yeah, I completely agree.
All right. So you find yourself at FITSNews now, and what's the first story you jumped into there at FITSNews?
Right. So after some significant soul searching, many lawsuits threatened. In fact, the threats went on for months.
Did you do like a pros versus cons list? What was your decision-making process with there? Like, okay, I'm going to have to buy myself out of this contract, but I will, be able to sleep at night. Did you do that kind of thing?
Well, it's either stay on the plantation or defect and see what happens.
Okay.
Kind of where I was at.
Did you have a plan B?
Well, yeah, actually, I was looking at other options. Just okay, I'm somebody who needs a plan B, C, D, E, F. So yeah, there were other options available.
Like
OnlyFans. I was
OnlyFans,
gonna figure it out.
OnlyFans, Twitch streaming, stuff like that.
Right. Selling our soul, but we could sell our body. We can do that. That was not on the deck of cards there, Matt. But
well, I'm sure you had some sleepless nights, dude. That's a big, you invested a lot of time and money into your degree and into your, what you were doing there. And, going off into an independent news agency, that's a pretty big deal, man. Because this is before the Murdaugh murders, before, like, what was Will really working on when you got there?
So I will tell you this: Murdaugh had murdered his family by the time I.
Oh, he just wasn't arrested yet, probably, and was he charged?
No, I was in a WIS squad car when the verdict dropped for his trial.
Oh wow! Okay.
Sounds like we'll be getting another one. Yeah, FITSNews broke the murders.
Yeah.
We were the first people to report on that. Big whoop. So it had made a name for itself already, and then I had referred to my Rolodex, primarily of attorneys, because, you make friends doing the journalism thing. And, man, it was just an overwhelming number of people going, that's the move. Solid move. Solid move. Like, I was getting the seal of approval by council members, businessmen, because I referred to a ton of people. Like, is this really the right move?
Yeah.
And, I mean, the overwhelming amount of support and, again, endorsement for FITSNews, that helped.
Cool.
That helped.
I had to chuckle about the big whoop on the breaking of the story because that's what got Drudge Report known what it is today. All about breaking a simple story of Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton.
Mm.
They're the ones who broke
And I
that
suppose
story,
that,
and here they are today,
let me
huge.
clarify that too. No, and I mean it is magnificent. The amount of stories that we get to break, and I'm pretty territorial too. Like I want to be that guy. That big whoop was more in reference to people like TMZ, who we broke these two people kissing outside of a movie theater. We broke Leo DiCaprio with a new 19-year-old girlfriend. So that was just more in line with that. No, I don't want it to sound like I don't find breaking a story first to be very important. I mean, just look at the people and who have broken stories first, whether it be the Pentagon Papers, Watergate, Lewinsky. Yes, no, there's absolutely great importance to that.
Yeah, and I would imagine there's a higher cost for your reputation, protecting your reputation as an independent outlet rather than somebody backed by a corporate CBS or NBC. You know, that's basically all you have to go on is your reputation.
That's it, man. There's no, I mean.
So if you jump the gun on something and, you know, we're like, oh, okay, we'll just print a retraction and move on. Like that, that doesn't happen.
That doesn't work.
No.
That doesn't work.
It works if you're a left-leaner.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, that's what they're. I think it's all contrived. Hey, I'm going to say something horrible about somebody, or I'm going to throw something out there.
Oh yeah.
So they got the soundbite to use to go against, you know, Trump or somebody else in Congress, and then the next day they'll apologize or, you know, retract the statement.
Yeah, it's on the bottom of last paragraph on
Which,
the fourth
okay,
page.
who cares? you already made your soundbite, and that's what everybody's going with.
And
they
they've
couldn't care
influenced.
less.
They have influence over people. That's what they want, to just influence people to behave in a certain manner.
Yep. I'm pretty sure they know what they're saying when they say it the first time.
Yeah, the CIA gave them the script. Operation Mockingbird.
Oh boy.
That's a conspiracy, Matt. Please.
Yeah, right. So you get to FITSNews, you check in. I don't know what their offices are like. It's probably just a hangout spot. A bunch of nerds sitting around drinking their Starbucks and like, all right, what do we want to work on today?
We actually we don't like Starbucks here. We go to Loveland. That's a local joint.
Isn't that a gas station?
We support local. Loveland?
I've never heard of it.
Oh yeah, it's a local coffee shop.
Okay.
We're not sponsored, so I don't know why I'm doing that.
Buy local anyway. Anyways, buy local, folks.
And buy local anyway. If I can avoid Starbucks at all costs, I will. But coffee is a necessity. No, I landed here, and a lot of it was just kind of figuring out, where I'm going to fit. So I was doing all kinds of stories. This candidate has announced that he's running for this. This officer involved shooting over there, but I didn't fall into the groove because you might have recognized early on in this conversation, public corruption hits very close to home for me.
Yeah,
that is my bread and butter. Quick side note about public corruption. I mean, you'd think that when you're using the word corruption, that's something that's going to require meeting an anonymous source in a parking lot with a briefcase with a tape recorder in it, and it's this big. No, it just happens every day.
Every day.
You don't have any informants? Nobody with cool names like
exchanging tape recorders.
No one with cool names like Huggy Bear or anything like that.
Deep Throat and that one, Watergate.
It's funny. It's actually in the Chuck Wright one. We do have a few sources, and they go by code names: Pastor, Moonshine.
Okay.
So it's
all right,
good.
cool.
Okay.
But just it's wild that it is just this rampant, that it is this flagrant, and this accepted.
Well, man, South Carolina is a target-rich environment when it comes to corruption, just because of, you always hear good old boy network everywhere you go, but I swear, dude, South Carolina. If they didn't know, their granddaddy didn't know your granddaddy and their auntie didn't babysit you and all that, you're not doing business down there. It's the way,
right.
And, dude, they scratch each other's backs. They slide the envelopes under the table. That's just the way things are done there. But it's gotten pretty out of control, especially because the sheriffs down there are elected. They're not, they're not hired by the county council. It's just a straight election.
They're elected here.
Are they elected here?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's really hard to get rid of them once they're in office. And they have a lot of political influence through the Sheriff's Association, Fraternal Order of Police, all that kind of stuff. They have influence over, I mean, shoot, they were trying to legalize medical marijuana for children with epilepsy. And it was like, it was so difficult to actually get a medical card, and it was only certain types of medical cannabis were going to be allowed. But man, the people screaming the loudest was the Sheriff's Association, saying we can't legalize this. This is a slippery slope. Once we do this, and next thing we're gonna have gang violence and drive-by shootings over weed and all that sensational stuff. So you started out in my county there in Kershaw County. We had some bad deputies, bad actors there, bad police officers that were being protected because of who they know, who they're related to, and all that kind of stuff. And we worked together to expose some stuff going on. And then I moved on. Once I accomplished my mission, I was out. But it still goes on in that county and other counties. I mean, shoot, what was it? The 9 officers down there in Mount
Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant Police Department. 9 police officers were caught cheating on their law enforcement academy test.
Yeah, their certification.
The certification test. Yeah.
Some of these officers had experience, some didn't. And not for nothing, we broke that story, and then we broke the subsequent story identifying all but one of the officers involved in their alleged cheating scandal.
Yeah. So,
but
that's just a little taste. Like that's nothing. Cops cheating on a test. That's nothing.
Flyover,
People cheat on tests all the time. In Spartanburg County, which is Spartanburg considered upstate officially?
Yeah.
So it'd be in the upstate of South Carolina, northwestern county, not quite to Greenville. I guess it's right next to Greenville County, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it straddles the
Lawrence,
Sheriff's
something
County
like
line.
that. Yeah. And you had how long was the sheriff in office there in Spartanburg County?
Emphasis on was.
Yeah, was.
Yes, Chuck Wright, former disgraced ex-sheriff turned convicted felon, Chuck Wright, was in office, one of the longest sitting sheriffs in South Carolina history. He was elected in 2004, and he won 5 elections after that, and I'm going to say was allegedly forced to resign just last year.
Yeah. So if anybody's interested in really getting into the nuts and bolts of that story and like all the gory details of it, you can go to FITSNews.com or look up Andy on YouTube or what.
Puff it up a little
bit. But we're not gonna glaze over. I want you to give me some highlights here, dude, because this is wild.
Well, and what's unfortunate is we know this is happening in every county, but this is, and not just in South Carolina, but this, of course, is a county where we've got names to faces to allegations to LLCs to different states to different countries, just like with murder. I mean, this Chuck Wright vortex has become the Murdoch of the upstate.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you don't live in Spartanburg, even if you don't live in South Carolina, at a minimum, this is just fascinating.
Yeah, it's wild.
We're just in pulling this thread on a good old South Carolina sheriff who's been photographed many a times with conservative leaders, including but not limited to Trump, and there's a chance of a possibility that this guy might actually get a pardon for the federal charges that he did get.
So how did it start? Like, what was the first thread that you thought, this is something I need to look into?
Dude, it all started with allegations of nepotism. To think that somebody so powerful,
mm-hmm.
who held that power for so long, could watch it all unravel because he flagrantly violated a South Carolina code of law, which is that you can't hire your kids.
You're right.
He deputized in a public ceremony. The sheriff, Chuck Wright, deputized his son, who came with baggage. There's a reason that he was being deputized by his own father, because the boy couldn't make it in law enforcement. Just look at his resume. So anyway, he's deputized by his father, and that is when the music on the Titanic stops. Chuck Wright never got past that old saying where keep your friends close. He didn't make it past that part.
Wow.
And the friends from days and years and decades gone by, they started singing.
Yeah.
And what they pointed us towards was something that the feds either, I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, but there's no way they missed this. There appears to be in Spartanburg County a long-standing, deeply ingrained, embedded gambling network. Gambling is illegal in South Carolina.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So whether or not you agree or not, that's the code of law, and as a sheriff, you should stand by that. But instead, we have testimony indicating that his first campaign for sheriff alone was bankrolled by that illegal gambling operation. Deputies tell me they went at his request to go pick up cash in paper bags from men that were later convicted at the federal level for illegal gambling.
Wow.
But this is just one part of such an intricate 1,000-piece puzzle. And whether or not we'll ever put this full picture together, I don't know. But what we have already is just this one guy that came out of left field, a Muslim helicopter pilot who's a wanted fugitive. Why was he in talks about becoming an honorary deputy? And then that Muslim helicopter pilot is actually involved in another federal case with another sheriff out of Virginia. The sheriff is arrested for this badge for cash scam, but that sheriff is pardoned by Donald Trump. And now we have this sheriff over here. Dude, it's wild. Like,
That's crazy.
I can't just tell this story in one sitting. But is it exciting? Hell yeah.
Yeah, so you had nepotism, illegal gambling, drugs, obviously trafficking.
Let's talk about the drugs, man.
All right.
Why not? So part of his conviction included obtaining opioids through misrepresentation. So according to the feds, which Chuck later admitted to, and I watched him admit to in federal court, he was taking opioids under the guise of we're going to put it into our drug take-back program, yet it never made it.
So he was saying to the citizens,
box.
If you have extra opiates that you need to dispose of, bring it to the sheriff's department, and we'll make sure it is properly taken care of.
Don't bring it to the sheriff's office. Don't bring it to the sheriff's office. Bring it to the sheriff.
Did they just drop it in the trunk of his car? Or what? Oh my goodness, man. So he was just felt like he was untouchable, right?
He absolutely was.
I mean, he might still be.
Well, I'm not going to say that the man doesn't still have connections. In fact, I'm looking at his angry mug. So right now it's on a picture over there because we had been just relentless for months and months and months. Just you turn over one rock and just roaches just start running. A lot of them taxpayer subsidized roaches, which is extremely concerning.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, after all that, when he walks out of the federal courtroom after saying I'm guilty of these crimes, he was very stoic, and press was everywhere, right? And he just kept this very straight face as he walked out of the federal courthouse in Greenville, flanked by his attorney, who is Trey Gowdy.
Trey Gowdy.
You've heard that name.
Yeah. The Honorable Trey Gowdy.
The Honorable, the Gaza Honorable Trey Gowdy.
Yeah.
As Chuck is walking out of the federal courthouse, he's just looking at all the reporters, and there's a camera behind me. He looks over at me, and he gives me just this most go-to-hell look.
Yeah, that's a great feeling, isn't it?
to know, man, maybe he really does know who I am. He never answered his phone or email for comment, but maybe he does know who we are.
I have one overall question. What you're doing now as an independent journalist with FITSNews, you personally, what is your purpose for what you're doing today?
And that is a great question. That is a great question.
Golf clap for Kevin. Great question, Kevin.
Right,
Thank you.
No, I mean, I understand that speaking on corrupt law enforcement especially, because that is where I'm hyper-focused, is not a popular topic.
Mm-hmm.
I encounter a lot of people who think it's political because I must lean one way or the other.
Yeah.
I actually don't vote. They think that it must be personal because I've been arrested. You can check my record. There are no arrests.
That sounds familiar, man. Weird.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you know the feeling.
Yeah.
Transparency, it is accountability in a state that has neither of those things.
Oh, okay.
But it's not limited to South Carolina, right?
No, but what little I am, if I'm even able to do anything with my laptop, because this is all I've got right now, South Carolina is going to be the barrel where we will shoot the fish. If we can do something beyond that someday, that would be great, because obviously this doesn't end in Spartanburg. This doesn't end at the state lines of South Carolina. But for the time being, I've got to work with what I've got, and I sincerely love what I've got. The sources that we've made along the way, the good cops that I do get to have the fortune of encountering on a weekly basis at this point, because again, in reporting on corrupt law enforcement, which exists, they exist here in this state and elsewhere, it takes a good cop reaching out to say, look into this guy, or here's a photo, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
So
that is somebody who cares.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that you are someone who still is actually holding on to the dream.
I'm not going to say the dream is dead, because then I'd sound like the pessimist that I am. But can we remind the rule makers of the rules, at least for right now? Absolutely.
Yeah, but your original dream of broadcast journalism, of really, journalism, whether it's independent or corporate, whatever, everybody starts out with wanting to do the right thing, wanting to expose corruption or tell the truth, give the truth to the people, give information to the people, and that kind of thing. And it seems like you took the risk, stepped into FITSNews, and now you have the freedom to actually do that.
Yeah, I mean, the chains are off
Yeah.
at FITSNews. I mean, I give props to Will and everybody on the team. Because earlier we were talking about being territorial, but at the end of the day, since we all kind of have such niche beats that we work, we help one another. We want to see other people succeed. I would say the lead reporter on the Murdaugh murders would be Jen Wood. We share a wall together. The research that she has managed to do, just in the free time she has, on Chuck Wright and property searches, and you mean to tell me that this alleged gambling house was left to a deputy? So little things like that.
Yeah.
We all work together, and I have never experienced a team quite like it, man. So as far as the dream of journalism, it has not come in the traditional package, but I'd like to think that it's happening.
Is there someone or someones in your life, whether you've known personally or just through biography or something like that you would consider a mentor in the business, someone you look up to and want to strive towards?
And I've got inspirations. I mean, do they count?
Yeah.
Not people that I've met, but
Sure.
y'all are probably gonna laugh, man. But like growing up, I mean, I remember being a kid, and when you heard the 60-minute stopwatch come on, it is time to tune in.
Yeah.
Which it's unfortunate. seeing kind of just how 60 Minutes has panned out too. But Mike Wallace, Dan Rather.
Rather not.
Yeah, well, we all everybody had a heyday, but
Right.
yeah, Mike Wallace. It's funny actually. Sidebar: did you know that Jeff Maddox built Mike Wallace's house?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a fun anecdote. But anyway, yeah, I would say that those were the guys that I looked up to. You know, am I? Would they be happy with what I'm doing? I don't know, but I can at least go home at the end of the day and queue up the interview between Mike Wallace and Saddam Hussein or Ayatollah Khomeini and go, if one day I could have the balls like that guy, then I'll be all right.
Well, then I think they would give you a or B plus from their ranking, that you are still maintaining what they would expect someone in the business to be doing it right.
Hate that. Maybe
You're doing the dang thing, man.
I don't know.
You're actually doing it.
Do you
That's
keep a
awesome.
diary?
Do I?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I do not.
All right.
I want to talk
Would
about.
you recommend one?
Well, Kevin's a journal keeper, has been his whole life, and
If I were you, if you're going to be a diary keeper, you might want to put them in a safe place. I don't know if I'd let someone break into your house.
yeah, probably good
Right.
advice.
Some of the information you might be putting down on paper.
Yeah. So let's talk about risk a little bit in your line of work. You know, you're exposing some dangerous people, potentially dangerous. Maybe I'll say potentially dangerous. And I've had a little experience in this. You know, I've received death threats and threats of violence, and you know, the dirty cop in Kershaw County pulled my wife over one time and intimidated her. So how do you handle this risk factor that comes with your job? Because, you know, politicians can be some shady people, man. They can be great folks, I guess, but you know, if they're in bed with whatever, who knows what, man, power makes people do crazy things.
Yeah, look
right?
at the Clintons.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I mean, Lindsey Graham, they're like, how the hell is Lindsey Graham still in office? Everybody hates his guts, but he's still there.
Everybody's asking that question too.
Yeah, I don't get it. So
Still there.
how do you handle this, man? How do you weigh that as a possibility when you're like, all right, man, I'm going to go meet Will and we're going to pitch this story and put it out there on the internet, and I know I'm, you know, laying my neck on a chopping block here.
It's funny you brought that up because I was talking to somebody just recently kind of about the risk of the game because, like you said, we are pissing off some very important people. You know, I've been getting letters in the mail, not threats, like just additional tips because you know, now we're kind of veering from the lane of anonymous emails. Now we're getting very detailed letters going back to Spartanburg County regarding this.
I think I still have some. I've gotten anonymous letters in the mail, in my mailbox, that did not go through the post office. Somebody pulled up to my house and put it in my mailbox. That'll make you nervous, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it at least substantial what they left in your mailbox?
I was, let me think. No, one of it was about Bill Black. Do you know that story? Bill Black, guy went missing. He was a confidential informant for the sheriff's department, and he went missing.
Isn't it interesting how these confidential informants just befall the worst fate
Yeah.
ever?
Yeah. I mean, they're not normally the best folks anyway. They tend to run in crazy crowds.
Yes, I did a story. I interviewed his brother. Yes, I recall this guy.
Actually, I think I sent them to you because I was like, no, I'm not touching this.
Probably. That might be the case.
But so you get these anonymous letters, or you get tips from people who claim to be sheriff's deputies or police officers. That, you know, when you get those, there's a vetting process, I'm sure, right? You have to substantiate their claims, and let's talk about that a little bit.
Somebody at face value.
Because
you can't take somebody at face value.
You have physical, like, security issues that you're concerned with, but you also have professional, you know, standards that you have to maintain, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes to all fronts. you know, I wouldn't say trust your gut, because, I mean, okay, your gut can lie to you, but yeah, if we can't substantiate it, then we're not going to run it. And, you know, there's a few different ways that we can go about the vetting process, but what I don't do, what I never do is receive, say, a video, right, that looks to be black and white, and go, well, it can only mean this thing that I'm taking away, so it's time to light up the presses. No, usually I sit on things. Somebody will tell. In fact, somebody gave me another name in the Chuck Wright vortex in December. I'm still mulling over how am I going to go about telling this story, because what happens all the time, or what happens a lot, is I'll receive something and then I just get pissed. You know?
Yeah.
So I've got to pack my passions, because we're going to tell this story impartially and as airtight as possible. If I'm going to take a shot, I want it to be in between the eyes, not at somebody's feet.
Okay.
You know, that's just going to be a disrespect to the people who did reach out, and that's just going to be sloppy against the person who needs a red carpet rollout. You know?
Right.
So, as it relates to the security, though, because there have been some very weird things that have happened in reporting on these sheriffs. In fact, just a couple weeks ago, I won't say who, but let's just say a law enforcement leader threatened me with a state grand jury if I did not give up my source.
Oh, wow.
And guess they'll have to impanel the jury.
Yeah, do it.
You know? Well, and I mean, I was like, listen, man, how it happened, and I can't go into too much detail, but they said, well, we might get the state grand jury involved, and at that point, you'll have to reveal your source. I said, no, it's not how that works at all.
Can't compel you to do that.
Well, they said, if you don't reveal your source, then you'll go to jail. And I told this law enforcement leader, well, I'm not trying to fluff it up. This is what I said. I said, well, I'd rather go to jail true to my word than to walk the streets as a rat.
Yeah, okay. And that's the way it should be done, man. That's how you answer. That's how you should answer. Call their bluff, because obviously they're bluffing. You know. Okay, they might put some handcuffs on you and throw you in the county jail or something for a night and let you go on some, obstruction charge or something like that.
Right.
But nobody's going to pick that up. No district attorney or prosecutor is going to pick that up.
Based on your experience, what I'm listening to here and learning, a lot of details on South Carolina politics and corruption, which is fine. I'm not really big into the details. That's fine. I learned from it, though. One of my biggest things is you come across as being very perseverant in your approach and to the job you're doing, and what you believe you're doing is right. Do you have how far does your perseverance go? Do you have a limit? Is there something that would trigger you to decide, I better not go there? Or are you all in?
No, I mean, there is a limit. I will say, I mean, there's just a lot of trusting your gut, referring to your Rolodex of sources, trying to get character all right, I got this guy reaching out to me over here. Can you testify to this person? Is he trustworthy? Oh, he can't be trusted, and we're curious as to why he's reaching out. Okay, well, I'll put it in a filing cabinet, because not to say that this might be useful in the future. There is one beat, and I won't say which beat, but there has been a gentleman who has been helping just wreak holy havoc on a corner of South Carolina. Gentleman is very, I'm not going to say connected in law enforcement, but they understand the ins and outs of it, as well as some very particular cases that need a whole lot of scrutiny. I'm not going to say which beat, but he asked me one day, he said, have you ever gotten a tip on this subsection of society? And I said, no. He said, okay, just a word to the wise. If you do, don't pursue it.
Wow.
I'm like, you know what? I'll take your advice. I'll take your advice.
Gotcha.
So there is a specific corner of the underworld that I probably won't touch.
It's kind of like having different spots in cities.
Yeah.
Different spots in cities where the police say, don't go there.
Yeah, there's a lot of places like that in South Carolina. There's a lot of places to hide a body down there, for sure. A lot of swamps.
Like everywhere.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what words of wisdom would you have for someone who thinks they want to get into journalism on the younger crowd? Because we do have some younger folks who listen to our show.
Yeah, man. And I apologize to them for listening me ramble for a little while. But,
No, they're going to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if there's any word of advice I can give, which I'm never asked to give advice, it's stay true to yourself. I mean, if you can't be honest with yourself, then how do you expect anybody else to trust you?
Yeah.
I can sleep soundly at night knowing that at the end of the day, I have tried. Whether or not people agree with what I'm doing, and in fact, to that, I encounter a lot of people, activists, who I do not agree with. But the fact that they are pissed off enough to be out in their respected communities saying something and doing something, that means something.
Mm-hmm.
So
shout out Jeff Maddox again. He's been talk about
Yeah,
persevering.
right.
We'll have Jeff on the show one day, Kevin. You can meet him.
I'm afraid.
you need to have
Dude,
Jeffy.
he's a wild man. I love him.
So this kind of brings me to more of the, I don't know if it's lighthearted or not, but in your community where you live, are you able to lead a normal life?
Normal.
What's
Yeah,
normal?
I guess what I mean by normal is you're not having someone come up to you all the time while you're walking down the street or trying to sit in a diner having lunch or something.
How famous are you, Andy?
Not at all.
Is there people
not at
always
all.
looking over their shoulder at you, giving you the stink eye?
I
Do you-
mean, I'm not going to lie. In the upstate region of South Carolina, I don't like hanging out there too much.
Okay.
Because between what we've reported in Lawrence County, in Welford City, and Spartanburg County, yeah, it's just best to know what you need to do than leave. But it was funny. Just the other day, I was at a burger joint in a rural part of Spartanburg County, and there was a big dude across the way, and he was staring a hole into me, right? And I said, well, I can only imagine what this is about. And so I'm eating some barbecue, and it's a restaurant full of people. And he's just looking, and he's got this ball cap, and he's with a lady. And he's finally like, hey. I'm like, yeah. You reporting on the law enforcement? I'm like, yes, I'm the guy that reports on the law enforcement. He's like, hey, brother, I like what you do. I'm like, oh, okay, that went better than I expected.
Yeah.
I'm going to look down at my food and keep eating.
Yeah. So
Thank you, sir. Thank you, kind man. But
how do you
people-
how do you keep from getting jaded? You know, you're looking at you mentioned the good cops, the guys who are out there trying to make their department better, trying to do the right thing, serve the people.
Yeah.
But it seems like man, the darkness is overwhelming. So how do you strike that balance, like internally or just to keep moving forward?
You know, something my brother would say is, learn to walk the demons, which I know isn't exact and doesn't specifically answer your question. I will tell you, it is very discouraging. It's very disappointing to see exactly what you called it. So much darkness, especially as of late. And I won't get into too many details. I will spare everybody that. But public corruption can be fun, right? Whether it's cops allegedly getting cocaine shipped to their house, true story, true accusation at least, or sheriffs accepting 147 opioids so that they can get high before prayer breakfast. So, these are happening and it makes you chuckle. But never did I expect for public corruption to ease into crimes involving children, which I'm starting to see a ton of. I don't know what is in the water, but so far...
Yeah, you guys just had a pretty prominent Republican politician down there go to prison for probably the rest of his life, right?
Just 17.5 years. Just 17.5
well,
years.
Hopefully,
and some restitution.
Hopefully his life doesn't last that long, but I don't want to wish death on anybody. I take that back.
Did you hear about the bust in California?
The bust?
Yeah,
No.
that took place this week. There was one neighbor who reported odd things happening at the house. Mm-hmm. And after 2 months or so of surveillance, they were able to go in, bust not only that house, but over 500 people in the state of California alone, all connected to human trafficking.
Oh my gosh.
They rescued somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 people, adults and children, and about 20 of them are out of the state of Missouri.
Wow.
Yep. And I felt pretty good about reading that story, because California, nothing ever comes good out of there, but that one I liked.
Well, I used to be involved with an organization called Operation Underground Railroad. I don't know if you guys have any heard of that. So I was involved with them, and man, I just I can't do it.
I actually did one.
Did you? Yeah. Yeah. So it was like,
here to Colorado.
How do you?
Being a medical professional, helping, dude, and God bless anybody who's involved in that, like the detectives that investigate that sort of stuff.
I mean, how do you not get jaded from that?
Right.
There's a good question to ask those guys.
Yeah, you just want to squash people's skulls, man. It's just...
I mean, let's watch some heads roll.
Right.
I'm for the long drop. I mean, just in South Carolina alone, just in the past year, I alone have reported on that Republican lawmaker. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, we don't have to say his name anymore, because he's nothing now.
Yeah.
But not just any Republican, a freaking Freedom Caucus member,
right?
Who was pro-children, evidently too much children. But we had the sitting lawmaker convicted. We had a mayor pro tem out of Irmo. We had a firefighter out of Lexington County, a police officer, a police chief, a sitting magistrate. Now, all these individuals have either been charged or convicted of the worst crimes imaginable. Mm-hmm. And every single time when these either elected, appointed, or just trusted officials are accused of, again, these horrible things, it's crickets. It's crickets. Their legislative companions, or their law enforcement companions, or the mayors that appoint them, or the people that vote them in. Mm-hmm. It's awkward silence.
Yeah, it's the
outrage?
You'll hear the bad apple analogy, right? Oh, it's just one bad apple. Don't let it spoil.
It's
the
just
bunch.
one bad apple, or at Mount Pleasant, it's 10 bad apples, right. Or in Spartanburg County, it's dozens and dozens of bad apples. So yeah, I love the bad apple analogy, and I've seen so many bad apples that we're dealing with a tainted orchard now. So how do we reverse course?
Yeah, and how do you trust? It infects the trust in public officials across the board, where you start to look at everybody like, you're guilty until you can prove to me that you're a good guy.
Which is how a cop would respond to any scene. Sure. Just about.
Yeah, because they're jaded too, because they see horrible stuff every day, and they start to look at us versus them, and you're the enemy until you're proven not to be. But do you have any way that you blow off steam, man? What do you do to just disconnect from this sludge and just live your life? What do you do in your downtime? What are you doing to take care of yourself?
I wish I could give advice. I'm the last person to be giving advice in that department, because I'm still learning to, as my brother says, walk those demons. Mm-hmm. My work-life balance is non-existent, because unfortunately I love what I do, so it goes home with me. Mm-hmm. But that can really wear down on you. Sure. Of all people, hanging out with Jeff Maddox helps, because he's able to spin it in a way to where you can't help but laugh at just the clown show that is our state government, our national government. He helps. He helps a ton. As far as any reasonable advice, substantial advice, I have none. And if y'all have got any advice, I'll gladly take it.
Get to the gym, dude.
Right.
Well, I would spiritually, I don't know where you stand with God. That is a major part of my personal pressure valve, going to prayer, and family. wife and children, just disconnecting. But I've disconnected, and you don't have this luxury to disconnect from media. Like I don't, like I really, just the last couple of weeks when I knew you were coming on, I started looking at some FITSNews stuff, but I don't pay attention to anything that's going on in South Carolina. I don't know about what's going on in California. I don't even know what the president did. I don't pay attention. When it shows up on my doorstep, I'll deal with it. That's kind of my attitude now. And, but I've made the choice to step out of that world, to go down a completely different road. So I would just recommend do some exploration, man. Figure out what blows off some steam for you, because eventually that's going to build up, and it will explode if you don't let off that pressure, man.
I hear you, man.
Grow a mustache and swing kettlebells.
Swing your little, yeah.
Kevin, you got any more questions or anything for Andy?
I only have one memory. At the very beginning of the show, Andy, you mentioned about going to, what was it, North Texas? Was that the school?
The school. Yeah.
Yeah, where Mean Joe Green went.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you said the name Mean Joe Green, reminded me of a skit I did as a kid. And at the time, I was 10, 11 years old, right around then when the famous Coca-Cola commercial with Mean Joe Green walking down the tunnel and the little boy, and he hands him his Coke and drinks it, and then he goes, hey kid, and throws him his towel, kind of deal. And everybody was all happy. It was a great Coke commercial. We did a skit about that, me and some friends, when we did like this play and everybody had to do skits. And ours was the Mean Joe Green skit, except when Mean Joe Green drank the Coke bottle, he goes, hey kid, and he throws the Coke bottle back at him and bonks him off the side of the head.
Nice.
And that was our skit, and
good
so
humor from young boys.
Yeah. So thanks for the memory.
Back in the glass bottle days too.
If there's anything I could have done today, I'll take it.
Yeah, that was good. I'll have to add that to my diary tonight.
Andy, how can people get a hold of you and follow your content?
Yeah, man, I'm available across all platforms, for better or worse, right? Social media, but I'm available under the handle Real Andy Fancher, FANCHER. That is my username across X, Facebook, Instagram. Facebook is, it's the Wild West, I guess, in terms of just engagement. If you hate every word that I said today, then you can join a vast and growing town hall of people in my Facebook comment section.
Nice.
They will welcome you with open arms.
All right.
And if you agree with what I say, then you can hop in the mosh pit. It's a wonderful place to be. But that.
All right. What about FITSNews? FITSNews is everywhere, right?
FITSNews is everywhere. We're on YouTube. Well, I guess I should start. My boss would kick me if I didn't start with the website. So FITSNews.com. Fits, first in the South. FITSNews.com. We are a subscription-based website, and even though it is, it's $10 a month at this point.
$10.
We've got FOIA bills to pay. And
getting up there with Spotify, man.
Would you rather pay for unlimited Neil Young songs, or would you pay to hold truth to power?
Well, actually, Spotify went up effective this month from $19.99 to $21.99.
Is that what it is?
A month, yeah.
Dude, I'm canceling that crap.
It's inflation, right? It's the cost of inflation.
I mean, you can listen to them without commercials, but then they play commercials every 3 songs.
Yeah. I used to harass Andy all the time for the free links to FITSNews. He's like, hey, check out this story. I'm like, I'm not paying for it. Send me the free link.
Gee, your service knows no bounds. But so FITSNews.com, and we're also on every social platform as well. But I would obviously encourage people to go follow me directly at Real Andy Fancher.
Cool.
All right, dude.
Well, what did you think of the Maker's 46, Matt?
This is a good drinking bourbon, man. I enjoy the oakiness of it. The just basic bourbon flavor, but just like stepped up a notch with the oaky flavors. Good heat too, 94 proof. That's good. Because I like it usually around 100, but this is a little bit milder. I gave it a solid 3 stars.
Okay. You said
It would be 3.5 if we're doing half stars, but
I agree with everything you said. For me, it was an upgrade from the standard makers.
yeah.
It did have a little bit more heat than normal. I mean, during their normal standard makers, Mark. I did like the little bit more enhanced flavor. Going from $25 a bottle for Maker's Mark to $40 for the Maker's 46, it's kind of a toss-up.
That's a Schnucks price, by the way.
Well, I get it.
Yeah, Schnucks is a little bit high. You could probably get it like 35, I would imagine.
So,
What'd you pay, Andy?
And that's why I'm actually fact checking myself right now, because I believe I only paid. Now this is, how many ounces is this? Because I believe I only paid $28 for this.
28? Wow, that's a good
I
liquor
went to
store.
the Spirit store up the road.
What is it, $3.25? I don't think they make one. Is it $7.50?
This is the standard size.
Yeah, $7.50. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's got a cork in. His has corked.
Cool.
I've only been
Next
able to
time
see the screw tops.
I'm in Charleston, I'm buying all my alcohol in South Carolina. Then it sounds like it's cheaper.
Right.
Taxes probably.
I'll give it 3 stars.
3 stars. All right, Andy. Final breakdown. What do you think? 1 through 4. Remember, no half stars.
Well, okay, may I ask?
1 through 5.
why we
1 through
don't do
5.
half stars?
Yeah, you're right. 1 through 5. Sorry.
May I ask why we don't do half stars? That would make life so much easier.
That's me. I'm kind of a stickler on it. You can do half stars if you want, but I'm not a believer in the half star.
I like to do the, like Dave Portnoy pizza review, 1 through 10.
Yeah.
Like figure skating. You could go like 3.7, 3.8, but that gets a little too, like, it's too much to keep track of, honestly.
I hear that, and I respect that. Before we had hopped on, you asked me what my favorite bourbon was.
Yeah.
So between Weller,
Right.
if that is what, the 5, if we're going 1 through 5, right?
So yeah, that would be your
Or
5. Yeah, your top bourbon would be
Okay.
5 stars solid. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd put Weller Light Label over there at 5 star.
Okay.
So on this one, since I didn't know what to expect, right? I mean, it was going to be a surprise either way. But the spice, I really enjoyed that, and then especially after the little hand smell test, and then that citrus really just coming out in the odor, and being able to taste it after that interesting fact pattern. I'd have to fall right in line with y'all, gentlemen. I mean, 3 I think is a very decent. That's a very generous rating for this 46. That, I mean, I don't go out of my way for bourbon, but I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm still sipping it.
Good
It's
deal.
probably what, a third the price of a Weller, right there, at least.
Well, you asked me what my favorite was, not what was in my budget.
Yeah.
Well, no, and that's good because that gives us a recommendation for the future.
Yeah, we're gonna
Because we're always seeking
keep our
recommendations.
eyes out for it. Well, thanks for coming on, Andy. Really appreciate it, taking time out of your Saturday.
Yes, sir.
And,
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I look forward to talking with you in your future, following your stories. Keep up the good work, bud.
Hey, I appreciate the time, y'all. I appreciate everything that y'all are doing and continuing to do. I've followed you from South Carolina to where you're at now, man, so keep it up.
All right, thanks, buddy. I'll see you later. Have a good one. What's up, Kevin? You got one more?
No.
All right. Bye-bye, folks.
Peace out.